Hello, Pisces, and welcome to your June 2026 horoscope, monthly horoscope. My name is Justina. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. All right, so today we are going to look at some of the most important events happening in the month of June, and I'll tell you how they may influence your ascendant sign, also called the rising sign, on a deeper level. I follow Western astrology tropical zodiac, and these horoscopes are most accurate for your rising sign. However, you can also watch them for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. So welcome. All right, so we start with a very interesting conjunction that is actually very personal to you. This is when Venus and Jupiter conjoin on the 9th of June at 25 degrees of Cancer. Now, the reason I said it's personal for you, because Jupiter is your traditional ruler. So it can feel very positive, very enlightening as well. Now, bear in mind, if you have any more challenging personal transits going on around this time, then it might actually manifest slightly differently. But overall, this is a very, very, very positive and lucky transit of the year. Jupiter and Venus conjunction, both beautiful energies. Venus rules relationships, beauty, our comforts in our lives, creativity, love, relationships. And Jupiter is connected to growth, expansion, abundance. Of course, there is a different side of Jupiter, which can also manifest as overextension, overindulgence as well, overspending. But here, with a conjunction with Venus is balancing the energy, definitely. And this is happening in your fifth house. And Venus and Jupiter feel really, really comfortable here. And the fifth house, which rules creativity, romance, joy, children, the creative self-expression. And here, generally, this is the area of children as well, conception, romance, your creative projects as well. So beautiful energy that generally it's like an easy flow of energy, whether that's some good news that you might receive, positive feedback. Here, Venus rules over your third house and also your eighth house. So this could be some financial gain, some financial news, maybe a new client, a new contract if you're a freelancer, for example, or if you have your own business, self-employed especially. This could perhaps indicate that you will receive a new contract during this time, a new client, connection, relationship. This could be about a beautiful day you might experience that could bring some realizations and thoughts that actually life is beautiful and you're having such a good time. So whatever it is, you might also receive some recognition, good feedback for some work you've done recently. Maybe your children might surprise you with some positive news. So allow yourself to enjoy these energies, especially since you've just completed a very important cycle of Saturn and Neptune in your first house. So allow yourself to enjoy and indulge in these beautiful creative energies. Maybe go to the theater, to the cinema, or do something that brings that sense of happiness, fun, and joy. Now, here, as we move forward, we've got a new moon happening on the 15th of June. This is a new moon happening in Gemini, that's your fourth house at 24 degrees. So new moons are connected to new beginnings, fresh ideas, something fresh, something new. And here, this is your fourth house, and Gemini is the sign of duality, which often indicates that sometimes we might be in two minds about a certain goal, idea, project we might have. But this could also manifest as having to decide between two different scenarios, two different paths. This will, of course, depend on your circumstances, but this is a beautiful time for planning renovations, home improvements, maybe a family gathering. Mercury is connected to communication. And during this time, Mercury is in your creative house, the fifth house, where Venus and Jupiter conjunction occurred. So this is also a good time for planning renovations, home improvements, because there is a lot of creative energy in your aura, in your essence at the moment. So you might have some really creative, interesting ideas that could help you to create more comfort. Uranus is now in your 4th house. So this also indicates that you might be moving. A move, a renovation, a shift is coming and is on the horizon. So really interesting energies, but we'll come back to this in a moment. We'll come back to it. Now, Chiron moves into Taurus on the 19th of June. And this is a big deal. This is a big deal because Chiron is not a planet, it's an asteroid, also called the Wounded Healer. It has been in Aries since around 2018 and in your 2nd house. So you had an opportunity to heal any wounds associated with wealth, with money, your relationship with money management, and your ability to attract wealth. Your personal values may have shifted as well during this time. And now we've got Chiron moving into Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign. So it will be generally, this energy will be moving much slower. This transit is much slower, energetically speaking, because Taurus is a fixed sign. So your 3rd house, of course, is connected to communication. It's connected to anything to do with your mindset, your intellect, but also early education life. Early education, so primary school and kindergarten. So generally, when Chiron transits this area of our chart and in Taurus as well, of course, this is connected to our security and stability. So anything that disrupted that security and stability in the earlier stage of life here will come up for review, for healing, for release in some way as well, because you will be gaining a lot of wisdom as well through your thoughts, through your mindset, through your intuition. But at the same time, this is the kind of transit that could also bring up to the surface moments when you felt like you were misunderstood, or when you felt like you were invisible, or when you didn't feel heard. So many of us have got these kind of memories at the back of our mind, and maybe they are even forgotten memories, but they are stuck in our subconscious, and they are actually blocking us in many life situations from achieving success, from becoming more visible, from becoming more successful, for example. So now with Chiron entering Taurus, your 3rd house, you have a chance for healing those wounds, for healing your voice through your body, because if the Taurus is connected to physical energy, physical body as well, our throat. This could be a time when you will be healing your voice, healing any writing blockages, communication skills as well. If you haven't spoken to your siblings for a long time, or perhaps if your relationship with your siblings is wounded, Chiron moving here can help you heal this relationship, which is actually really beautiful. So try to notice what comes up, what shows up, especially through your words, especially through any podcasts that you hear, especially through your senses, through what you hear, through what you see, through what you actually communicate. And that's between June the 19th and September the 18th. This is just a preview, a little taste of what you may see taking place from next year and onwards, when Chiron enters this area of your life more permanently. Now, as we move forward, Mars, the planet of drive, action, motivation, enters Gemini, and that's on June the 28th. For about 7 weeks, so a big shift happening here again. So on the 15th of June, we had a new moon here, a new moon in the sign of Gemini. So now Mars will create that feeling of momentum, push things forward, any ideas, goals you may have around that time. Now, at the same time, Mars in the 4th house is fantastic for gardening, for home improvements, home renovations, decluttering, for also perhaps dealing with home renovations. We've got lots of energy here. Of course, Mars is our energy. Mars gives us motivation as well. And this motivation will be centered in your area of home. So an amazing, amazing time for pushing forward with any home-related renovations, DIYs. Bear in mind, with Mars in the 4th house, sometimes there's more conflict at home, more impulsive energy. So try to, if you feel like things are getting out of control and a family member is making you upset, or if you feel impatient about something that is related to your home or family situation, try to release this energy on a physical activity connected to your home or home improvements. It can be very helpful, but bear in mind the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, so the dispositor of Mars in Gemini, will be retrograde as of the 29th of June. And this retrograde starts on 26 degrees of Cancer. This is quite interesting because this also indicates that it's these first 3 weeks, so the first 3 weeks of July more or less, are great for working on anything that was at your home, on anything that was already initiated before the retrograde started, so before the 29th. So maybe the ideas you had around the new moon, perhaps if you want to start working on them just prior to this retrograde and then carry on throughout the retrograde phase. Or it would be also a good time during the retrograde of Mercury in Cancer for working on any DIYs or home-related projects that perhaps were not completed. If you started to paint a wall or whatever a while ago and you didn't have the motivation to finish this project, then here, this phase of Mercury retrograde and also Mars in the 4th house gives you this amazing opportunity for completing this project, but also this retrograde will be in your 5th house. So also moving back to that Jupiter and Venus conjunction from the 9th of June, during which time I told you that this could be some really beautiful time of some good feedback or an opportunity that may come for some extra work or project, or perhaps some good news delivered from your children, or a romantic date that might await around the corner. So whatever the scenario here, we will Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde is a good time for reviewing, reassessing, and re-evaluating. Not a good time for starting anything brand new from scratch. Because anything that we start during the retrograde phase of Mercury, very often we change our mind about it, or the foundation of it, or when the Mercury is out of the retrograde phase, we drop it completely. Very often projects start during Mercury retrograde, they just don't work out, or they change direction, they become very complicated, and they also carry that energy flavor of the retrograde phase of Mercury overall. So Mercury retrograde is really, really great for reviewing, reassessing, and working on what we established before the retrograde started. So a great time for returning to hobbies, interests, ideas from the past, things that you didn't have a chance to fulfill or complete. A great time for reviewing your parenting style. It might be that you could be reconnecting with someone in the romantic sense, for example. Maybe you are refreshing some of your skills, returning to some of your hobbies, for example, or perhaps this could be also connected to returning to some activities that bring you that sense of joy and fun and passion into your life overall. So if you are going to sign any contracts during Mercury retrograde, really, really look at the small print, review until you're 100% sure. Otherwise, delay them until the retrograde is over. All right, so all the details you'll find in the description box down below this video. All right, so on the same day as Mercury turns retrograde, we also have a full moon. A full moon happening in the sign of Capricorn, and this full moon will be in your opposing house. So we spoke quite a bit about your 5th house of Cancer, and the full moon will be activating your 11th house. So the 11th house is connected to your network, to your friendships, to group activities, and to your sense of belonging, to your long-term dreams and goals for the future. And full moons are connected to turning points, to endings, conclusions, and often situations that are fully illuminated, things that we overlooked, delayed. So this is connected to your network, to your friends. It could be connected to a situation with a friend, someone from a group, or connected to a group you belong to that needs to be addressed, that needs your attention. Sometimes full moons in the 11th house often indicate that perhaps, sometimes they bring those realizations about our sense of belonging, our friendships, who is our friend, who we can rely on, and perhaps who doesn't. So sometimes with those 11th house full moons, we realize that the people we thought were our friend, our network, actually they aren't. So here, Capricorn is connected to structure. It is ruled by Saturn. This is a time when you might be questioning some of your friendships, connections. You might find out something that you didn't know about someone who you thought was your friend. It could be that you might be joining or leaving a group, but full moons tend to illuminate, so they give us clarity. And this could be also a time when you might realize that some of your dreams and goals, they are not realistic. So this could also see you restructuring some of your ambitions and goals for the future during this time. It could be a testing time in terms of your friendships, connections in your life, but it could also be a time of full clarity. Now we end them off with Jupiter, your traditional ruler, entering Leo, and this is happening on the 30th of June. A big event, a big transit that will last around 12 months. So Jupiter is leaving Cancer, your 5th house, and is moving into your 6th house. So here, this is a time of growth. So now opportunities during Jupiter in Leo transit come through your daily interactions, through your daily activities, through your lifestyle. This could see you changing your lifestyle. So your lifestyle choices might be shifting and changing during this time. For some, this could manifest as an element of something foreign entering their daily reality, daily life, whether that's working temporarily abroad or having an opportunity to travel abroad for work or working with foreign colleagues, for instance, or perhaps there could be opportunities for growth, expansion of your skills that you use for your work, for your business, for example. Jupiter in the 6th house, also pay attention to what you eat because your cravings might change. And for this reason, it's essential to maintain a healthy diet, maintain a healthy routine. Otherwise, things might be a little bit out of proportion, and it's often easier to gain weight when Jupiter is in the first, second, and the 6th house. So something to watch out for. So for this reason, it's good to have a plan in place and a healthy routine. But this transit also brings a need for expansion, for space and more freedom. So if you feel like your daily life is just full of responsibilities and there isn't enough time for fun and a little bit of an entertainment, then Jupiter here will prompt this shift of energy, a little bit of change in your lifestyle overall. Now, bear in mind, during this time, we also have the South Node entering Leo, and this is, of course, in the month of July, along with the solar eclipse in Leo in August. And we need to look at this cycle from a much bigger picture, a much larger perspective. And with the South Node transiting here, the North Node in Aquarius in your 12th house, this is a greater indication of also of lifestyle changes, self-improvement, self-growth, but also in these daily activities that you engage in, daily responsibilities as well. So you need to look at the bigger picture here with the South Node. The eclipse is activating your 6th and 12th house, of course, until 2028. We had one of them already in Aquarius back in February, and a solar eclipse in the 6th house. So this could also indicate a new work environment, a new type of work, or perhaps work that requires additional skills which you'll be learning. So whatever here happens, this is a time of growth. Jupiter is your traditional ruler, and the focus here for you is on self-improvement and growth in the daily life. It's about also improving your lifestyle overall. So thank you so much, Pisces, and all the best.